Sat Nam, this is Mahan Rajkar, and I am tuning in with you to give you the cosmic update of what's going on in the sky and the resurrection energy. So, one of the things to keep in mind is Easter always comes after the full moon in Libra and Aries. It is a lunar holiday, so that means that it is very connected to the divine mother, the divine feminine. And this is why in this story, one of the most important parts is he's risen. And the second one is who was there and witnessed it. And that, of course, is Magdalene, the Tower of Light. She is the one who saw the risen Christ first and then told others, he is risen, he is risen. And then it's about convincing them, helping them not be afraid, and moving into that. We are building towards a new moon in Taurus. And this new moon is going to be very soft and tender and poignant with its healing abilities for you. The week of April 21st through the 27th is really, the message is kind of up until now, the year 2025 has been brimming with a largely nonstop barrage of exciting, thrilling, and sometimes dramatic cosmic influences, right? It's been like a bit of a roller coaster, right? And so really keep that in mind too, that that's cosmic. And so when you're looking at the world and the world seems like it's moving way too fast, it's way too fiery, just know that everybody, especially those who don't meditate, who aren't necessarily in tune with the movement of cosmic energy, are going to be a little bit more of a loose cannon because they don't understand, oh, you know what, I need to run some water on this. You know, I need to ground my feet. I need to make this energy more beneficial. So having said that, so much that has been going on that it may have been difficult to settle down into a cozy routine, to get cozy with yourself. That's one of the things I love when Guru Ratana teaches us Kundalini, and she talks about that sacred space inside, that it is cozy. And we're going to be able to get cozy because tomorrow, right, the sun is going to move into Taurus at 0 degrees. So we're going to have this Scorpio Taurus feeling, protecting what is being created, relaxing into what brings comfort and beauty, and protecting that moment with it and really connecting to it. So all that changes now as the skies calm down, and nothing major is really going to happen until May 21st when Saturn changes signs. It's going to move from Pisces into Aries, and we have really felt the skies have been very Aries, Pisces, which is why it feels up and down, up and down. It's not that either one are only up or only down. What it really is those two energies are so darn different. And it's working on two things with you: healing your ego, knowing who you are, putting yourself first, and that's the Aries part. The Pisces is and being in harmony with those around you and feeling the flow of Divine Mother. Great ideas are percolating because of all the Aries energy, and Pisces wants to hold it in a space, hold it and flow with it so that we don't get in the way. So the ego sometimes, it's sort of like, so you have this amazing meditation and oh my God, and you really have some amazing realizations. What happens, that's all organic. It's like in the solar plexus, it's moving through the heart, it's opening up through the higher chakras and into your higher self. And it's like this information, this enlightened heart note just comes. You're not even controlling it. It just comes through. But then the ego wants to own it. And it's like, oh, okay, so this is how it is now. I will never be afraid. And blah, blah, blah. The ego wants to package it up. And from this day on, that fucking shit is true. But life isn't that way. And this is what we're doing in Kundalini, is getting this relationship between soul, ego, and spirit and God. So what's the difference? Soul is the part of spirit that is totally embedded in the body. So it has to deal with the mind and it has to deal with the body environment. Spirit is as we move out in this energy that is up above the seventh chakra, the eighth chakra, the higher self point. We would call that spiritus, right? That is the higher self. It is not enamored with the brain and the physical body. Then the heart is just this organic, beautiful heart space that is a place for the mental energy to ground. This is how we get our mind to be calm. We teach it to ground into heart energy, okay? Then we can have this balance. The last piece then is the Godhead, the generating, organizing, destroying energy that's holding it all together. When we are in harmony in our little community, when that's in harmony, then we can really feel through that higher self point, actually intellectualize. There's a spiritual intelligence, right? And it starts to be crystal clear because you've calmed down and now you can access it and hone it into your life. All right, so when we get to Monday, Monday is an excellent day to impress those in charge with ideas and pitches, while the opposite is true on Wednesday. Wednesday, we want to rein in the ego. It might go a little rampant and boss people around, including yourself, and you might feel compelled to let others know who is in charge. So whenever we have that righteousness, just take a deep breath and slow it down, right? Slow it down. Thursday is a magical day for amour, for love, and taking things to the next level of commitment. Uplifting energies will work a breeze and make it flow on Friday, and you may even want to join colleagues for an early evening and get together. The weekend outlook Saturday is filled with tense, explosive vibes when independent mind, free spirits could clash, but those of us who meditate and do this practice, it doesn't have to be a problem. It could be interesting. I just had the most amazing talk with my good friend, Mahan Gyan. So she's the enlightened mind. Wow. That's interesting. Anyway, so we were talking about how, when the rough waters, could it be interesting? Could it be interesting rather than a problem and I need to solve it? Could it be interesting and curious and we open our hearts to it? That doesn't mean we just lay down and get hurt. It's like, but we open, go a little higher and look at it from a different angle. So these volatile energies will linger a little bit into Sunday. So here's the 5-star week. If you want a little tips on how to handle this, here's what you do. Choose who you spend your time with carefully this weekend. Surround yourself with those who you know are easygoing and filled with good cheer. That could be probably, I can't believe I wrote it like that. It could probably be the advice for every weekend, right? So today, or if you're listening to this on Saturday, is Easter. So Easter is a very Kundalini yogic practice. We have kriyas around perfecting our resurrection ability. Resurrection is something that was deeply honored and studied in the Egyptian spiritual path, as well as the yogic path. For those of us who are yogis, there is so much in-depth information about the Christ after he was about 12 years old. He goes to Avalon. Back then it was called Abalon, and learns from the Druids. That's where they say he met the Magdalene. I know a lot of us would like to think that she's Hebrew, but chances are she actually did come from the Isles of the Divine Feminine. And they learned magic together. He came back over to Israel and then made him Egypt and made his way into India and studied with Mahavatar Babaji and learned all the things that he would need to be able to harness energy, heal people, work the magic. He learned a lot of it from the Druids too. And he was with his good uncle, which is a very common thing that the uncle takes over when your dad dies. So Joseph, Mary's husband, passed when Yeshua was about 11 years old. So Joseph of Armenia becomes a very big part of his life. And sees to it that he gets these special learnings and everything that he would need. And of course, he already had such a group and gathering, because Joseph of Armenia is he's a dealer in like metals and different kinds of rocks, and he would bring those from the Isles into Israel to use and build things with. So he had a very strong community there. So the Essenes were there, they were in Egypt, and they were co-creating this new earth that we are still in the midst of trying to bring to life. So resurrection, one of the things I want to point out to you is that he rises and he still has the holes in his hands, in his side, and his feet. What is important about that is, as long as he's a body of light and as long as he's made new, why not get rid of the scars? Because those are what make him him. And that's one of the lessons we need to take too. Our trauma is actually what is making us who we are. And there are signs of it left behind. And that, my good friends, is the house of medicine. So, happy Easter, happy new Taurus season, and come to the studio. I will be really playing with the Taurus energy on Monday, Wednesday night, and Saturday. We're going to be revamping the schedule, and we're going to have a couple noon classes in the very near future that will be a mantra, an easy stretch, a mantra, and then yoga nidra. So it's going to be a deep rest and an afternoon reset. So I think that'll be really neat to have as a part of our gifts that we give at GDF. Sat Nam, I love you.